everybody, it's the coach. Welcome to the special Saturday edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Ahead, we'll see the former MVP, Cam Newton, and the Carolina Panthers as they match up with Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans. With that, let's head over to the space city of Houston. Standing by at NRG Stadium, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. The scene from a few moments ago, this crowd enthusiastically cheering on their Texans as they emerge from the locker room. And we're just about ready for football as the Texans get set to match up with the Carolina Panthers. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand, and this is a game where the defenses, they need to be on their toes because you've got quarterbacks here, yes, that can throw the football, but they can also run it very well too.
Mobile quarterbacks. Remember, for the longest time, they used to tell the quarterbacks, stay in the pocket. We don't want you outside of it at all. Nowadays, that mobility, truly an asset, and people are game planning for it. As a scout told me recently, we are actually working with what the colleges are giving us nowadays.
And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. Deshaun Watson ready to lead the Texans offense, coming off a great turnaround season in 2018. Remember, 2 years ago, he missed much of his rookie campaign with a knee injury, but he led the Texans to an 11-5 record and an AFC South title last year.
This is it. 19. 54. Guys, it's game situation. Let's go.
Watson on first down. Catch here, left side, Thomas. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there, and if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Here's Watson. Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on this first drive. Instead, second down. And let's take a look at the Texans offense.
Have no idea what they're putting in the food in the Martin household, but they've developed two terrific offensive linemen. Brother Zach, a perennial all-pro at guard with the Dallas Cowboys, but Nick, no slouch at center for the Houston Texans. He sets the tone for their offensive line. He's the pivot up front.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. And the starting crew defensively for Carolina.
Eric Reed is a safety that you can use all over on defense, both in the box as a tackler and back deep as a cover man.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Watson looks to throw again. Being chased out left. He may try and run for this. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
I like this effort there. He got it done on his own, but let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the first down. And that is no good. And this will remain a scoreless game. No one attempted or made more field goals than Fairbairn last year. He was 37 of 42.
And they were grateful for every one of those that put 3 points on the board. But I'll guarantee you, Bill O'Brien, the head coach, is thinking to himself, we need to use him a lot less in 2019. Let's make sure we score some more touchdowns.
The Panthers offense here set to take center stage. And Cam Newton, the question is, will he be ready to come back from the injury last year? How healthy is he? And he's also now playing his first season in his 30s as a 30-year-old quarterback this year.
Will we say he's the doddering quarterback of the Carolina Panthers? I don't think we're ready for that yet. But you're right. That is the question. His shoulder, will it be healthy? Well, early in camp, he threw a deep ball. Go route to a receiver. Place went nuts because now everyone felt good. Oh, his shoulder's going to be okay. Because remember, they were 6-2 before he got hurt last year, ended up missing the playoffs. And one additional bonus for them, they picked up Gerald McCoy, who was let go by Tampa Bay, their Pro Bowl defensive tackle, and he's playing like a man with something to prove. And he also gets 2 shots at Tampa Bay because they're in the same division.
The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Check 55, Mike. I got you, Pop. Great. 55, Mike, 55. Watch the screen.
From the 50, Newton. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So on 4th down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi. DeAndre Carter's deep for the Texans. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. And now out comes Houston. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him. Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Watson now to throw. He's got his tight end. It's Fells. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Coverage was excellent downfield. I think he was more throwing that football away than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely, because everywhere you looked, they were covered.
Sometimes it's better to go ahead and be convinced that there's no place to fit in the football than to go ahead and force it and turn it into a bad play.
And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
Let's put him on the buses. Let's put that team on the bus.
The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And that won't buy him much room. Just a 1-yard gain to the 5.
That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room. If you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage.
Let's go, B, let's go. Hey, let's get there. Let's get it.
On 2nd and 9, Newton into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 16, and they'll spot him at the 3-yard line. And that pick just sets him up beautifully right down near the goal line.
I remember being in a defensive meeting back when I was in college, and our defensive coordinator says, we're going to call this Be Who You Are defense. D linemen, you play the run. Linebackers, be aware of anything. And secondary, you play the pass. That way, you're all set, ready for whatever they put out there.
Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle.
And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. A 3-yard touchdown run as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Solid job up front, really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
Yeah, that was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. And the Texans take a 7-0 lead. A nice, tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Getting set to go again here, Cam Newton marches back onto the field. And he'll look to rebound from the early interception that led to 6 points the other way.
And when he threw the interception and he had to come to the sideline, I guarantee his first thought wasn't about the interception itself, but what could result. And I know he was thinking to himself, come on, defense, bail me out. Well, they weren't able to in this situation. Now he's got to go out and atone for it himself, but he can't force things. I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. There's Newton. Quick slant, caught by Moore. The 40. He's at the 30. 10. Touchdown, Carolina. DJ Moore, 79 yards, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. And sometimes those slants, they can be so tough to defend after the catch. It just happens so quickly.
And really, what gets set up there is how quickly everything happens. Ball's out of the hands of the passer in a hurry, and he just takes it and goes.
And he went all the way into the end zone. Graham Gano on for the extra point. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
And now out comes Houston. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 22. They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And he'll get this one up to the 26. A gain of 3, 2nd down. Throw left side complete to QT. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. The 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards. Seven, our score after 1. Ready for the second quarter from Houston. It's the Texans in possession of the football. They're facing a tough spot, 3rd and 8 here to start things out.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone.
From the gun, here's Watson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. Take this one in for a Texans Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, 76 yards, and the Texans have taken the lead. Well, that's a heck of a response to regain the lead after we had seen the touchdown to tie the game.
I would say what we just saw there was a great amount of poise, because typically when teams tie the game up, it's a little bit of a, how would you say, you kind of take a step back and have to get yourself regrouped. They regrouped in a hurry, didn't they? They attacked back after they'd been tied.
And in a big way, that was a statement-long touchdown. Fairbairn now to add the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it results in the Texans finding the end zone. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This will be fielded at the 8. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? Now a pass dumped off to his running back. They'll get 4 there out of the screen, and it's second down.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short game.
Newton's pass is on target to Moore, and he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 43.
DJ Moore went through some ups and downs his rookie season, but really came on strong late in the year. Finished with 55 catches, the most among Panthers not named Christian McCaffrey. And now with Devin Funchess gone to Indianapolis, he's going to be the true WR1 for the Panthers.
Set. 180. Right here. 41 Mike.
Tighten up. Pull it together.
Draw play as Newton gives to McCaffrey. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
I got you.
Out of the gun, Newton. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. He was looking for Jarius Wright that time. And now it's second down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Throwing again. Newton. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. Now that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there because trying it is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize it is broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And this one is right down Broadway. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them special.
And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
On 1st and 10, Watson off to Thomas on the left side. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. So they still get the completion even though the blitz was on. But the blitz got there. Does that stay in the mind of the quarterback the next couple plays?
That's what you're hoping for. That's what you're planning for. It's a little risk reward, right? You're leaving your guys on an island back there in man coverage. But you take the chance that you get to the quarterback, and so he gets completion here. Congratulations. Keep coming at him, and hopefully it pays off by the end of the game that you're starting to get to him while still able to cover on the back end.
And for a second straight play, just nowhere to go thanks to this Carolina defense. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and they're going to face a 3rd down.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss.
Hey, defense, let's go. Pick it up, D. He's checking, he's checking, he's checking.
From the gun on 3rd, Watson, and that is incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert, and I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point, and they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
It's a 4-yard return following a punt of 49. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. There's DJ Moore as he and the rest of the offense head back out there. He's up near 100 yards now here in the 2nd quarter, but his team's down.
Through no fault of his own. I mean, what a nice game he's having so far. They've got to keep finding ways to get him the football. Don't get away from that. Figure out where things are going wrong with the rest of the team.
They'll be hoping to hit that 100-yard mark on this drive. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39.
Defense.
So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
He's got a 1st down and then some at midfield. And finally taken down at the 44-yard line. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will join us from Orlando with our halftime report. But business to take care of before we get there.
A 2-minute drill before the coach's 2-minute drill.
And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. Cam trying to rally his guys to the line as quick as he can. To throw again on 2nd down. Newton. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. McCaffrey following the penalty. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. On second down and 4, Newton, and he's got his man. It's Samuel. Touchdown, Carolina. 8 yards on the touchdown pass, and the Panthers are going to jump back in front. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
Gano the extra point, and it's now 17-14. So that drive, 4 plays, and Carolina scores to cap it off. And now out comes Houston. And you figure, Charles, they have enough time here in the first half, more than a minute, to put a drive together, at least get them in position to try a field goal.
Yeah, they've got all 3 timeouts at their disposal, so I'm actually thinking bigger. With those 3 timeouts, that amount of time on the clock, I'm thinking about trying to get a touchdown and settle for a field goal.
On first down, Watson. Over the middle, open is Thomas. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards right off the bat, but a first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. So second down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Throwing again is Watson. Stepping up, he'll try and run. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. The Texans on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 5. Out of the gun, Watson. And that is incomplete. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. Can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy because normally from this range, about 2 out of 3. And this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50 range, maybe a little over. And it's a big kick, but now we just, if they leave it short, you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's what we have here.
Yeah, you're right. 20 years ago, we were saying run some more plays and get closer. Now we think they're definitely within range, and you're exactly right. When it comes up short, there has to be something that went wrong because they have plenty of leg.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1.
Hey, here we go. Right here.
On first and 10, Newton. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime.
Ready.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. Made his first. This now from 46 yards away. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. So we have reached halftime in what's a 6-point game at the break. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports halftime report. Back and forth, we win in that first half. This has certainly been an entertaining one to watch thus far. So let's get right back out to it, as we'll rejoin our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Panthers out in front, and they will get the football first. Second half action underway. This one taken from the 7. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else. And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. From the gun, here's Newton. Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
A gain of 13 yards. First down, Carolina.
Newton now 11 of 16 through the air. It's 1st and 10. Throwing is Newton. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 28. Well, let's have some fun while we have a minute here. Fantasy drafts are in full swing. I know I've got my family fantasy draft coming up, Charles. Who would be your top 3 picks? I know that you're a noted fantasy football expert, so who would you take?
Well, you've got to start with guys who are going to touch the football and put it in the end zone, right? You got to score points. How about Saquon Barkley with the Giants? You know he's going to run it. He's going to catch it. When they get desperate, they may actually have him return it as well. Alvin Kamara is an absolute matchup nightmare for everyone. And Christian McCaffrey, did he ever come off the field last year? And, you know, this guy, he's a threat to be a 1,000-yard runner and a 1,000-yard receiver, as is Kamara. So this is going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to see those guys do their thing. But there are plenty of other guys out there, too. If Zeke comes along, you got to take him. Melvin Gordon, if they both come to camp, we'll see how that works out. How about Todd Gurley and his health? Because, boy, when he touches the ball, great things usually happen.
And then wondering, someone like Le'Veon Bell took the year off, now a new offense. But if he starts going like he used to, he's obviously going to be a good one.
Fresh legs is what you're counting on with Le'Veon Bell and a fresh start in New York with the Jets. And if you're looking for an exciting rookie, remember this. Kyler Murray's going to get the ball from the first snap, and they're going to leave him in there throughout. And as long as he stays healthy, he's going to pitch it around the park a bunch. Don't be surprised if he gets a little love, too.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Watson going to give this one to Miller. Lamar Miller, the 20. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And now they can recapture the lead if they can make the PAT. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. And that one puts them on top here in the third. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And Lamar Miller caps it off with a touchdown run. This one taken just inside the 10. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Cam Newton getting ready to go again on offense. He's likely still kicking himself from the interception last drive that wound up leading to a go-ahead score.
And he's going to assume all that came with that one, all right? That's all on him, but he also knows he's got to erase it from his mind and get back out there. This drive, very important.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, Charles, if you think so far the early part of the preseason, who has stood out? If you take a peek back at the draft, the first round, it was pretty defensively minded, but there were 3 quarterbacks taken. Kyler Murray first, Daniel Jones 6th, Dwayne Haskins 15th. Of those guys, they've looked pretty good.
I agree with you, Brandon. When you talk about those 3 quarterbacks, and you're right, the rest of the draft, we're talking about big linemen, right? We're talking about defensive players, not a lot of skilled players in the first round. But let's take the quarterbacks very quickly. Kyler Murray, by acclamation, went to Arizona. Everyone excited about it. And I think his team remains excited about his prospects. They're eager to see him play. He became the starter as soon as he was drafted. Daniel Jones, that was a different situation in New York. The fans weren't real excited about him coming in, but the reason they drafted him has a similar demeanor and talent to Eli Manning, and he's acquitting himself quite nicely in the early going. And Dwayne Haskins a little more up and down in Washington, but they love the big arm of this guy, and he's back at home. Remember, he grew up in Potomac, Maryland.
Newton now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. They run on first down, but it only produces a gain of 2. It's 2nd down now. Justin Reed, the safety, made the tackle.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. Back to throw, Newton. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. The sack there by J.J. Watt. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
A throw left side to start out. That's complete. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They'll try and run some clock here with Miller. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. Play 3 of the drive not as successful. They go backwards after those 2 first down gains. The previous play went to the offense with a nice run, but that last play we just saw certainly went to the defense.
So you're keeping a little bit of a ledger there, aren't you?
Tally.
You know, somebody wins, someone loses. But you get the sense offensively, they're continuing to probe around, trying to find the runs that are going to work, and then they'll go to them consistently.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Throwing on third down, Watson. He can run for it, and he will. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a fourth down situation.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense.
Trailing here in the second half, went for the aggressive play, got a little too aggressive.
You got to know when to pull up, or if you're going to go for it, how to take your body across a punter's body and not into him. Not a good play at all.
Watson hands this to Foreman. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
They'll go with a draw. Watson hands to Miller. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. Third and long, it's Watson. And he's going to have the hook up to QT. And they will stop him short. They get him to the ground at the 27, no first down. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to fourth down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Out of the pistol, McCaffrey. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it's going to be third down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Newton. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
If you're a defender, one of the fun things about playing zone defenses, especially in today's football, is that it's not as static as it was in the good old days, meaning you just drop to a point and react into the football. Now you end up with a lot of man-to-man principles once you get into your zone defense. In other words, get to your assignment and then locate a guy coming into your area, and then you end up covering him almost man for man. That allows him to make more plays on the football like the one we just saw there.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. Play action for Miller. Now Watson under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Brian Burns came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. Now, this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. A carry for Foreman. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down.
I think it's pretty easy to say this is a ginormous third down opportunity here for the defense. And I'm just going to tell you, Brandon, from my experiences, what you're saying in the huddle to each other is all the right things. Read your keys. Do your job. But the biggest one, you don't have to do more. Just do what you can do, and you can make this play.
So now Newton and the Panthers down 24-20, 1:11 to go. They need a touchdown. A field goal is worthless now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Here we go, let's bring it. Let's go, let's bring it. Let's bring it.
He'll look to throw. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. Back to throw. Got a man complete. It's Chris Hogan. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. From the 50, Newton. Quick slant, caught by Moore. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
What's that? What I need? All day, every day, any day.
Newton to throw. And Olsen over the middle. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
Ready? Go nowhere, 22, go nowhere. Single.
Newton. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Well, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
And now here comes their final timeout as they take it with 8 ticks remaining.
2nd and 10 at the 6-yard line.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10.
Set the tone, defense, let's go.
Throwing now, Watson. And the most curious way there to burn some clock. That was wild, and at the end of all that, it winds up a safety. All right, Charles, help me out here. Fourth quarter, you've got the lead, and you run backwards into the end zone. You're just trying to do too much.
I almost don't have words for it. But, you know, every coach that we talk to talks about running backs or people running the football, running north-south, getting upfield. He went way in the opposite direction, and that's going to cost his team.
Yeah, it cost him big time. Still leading, but it costs him. After the safety, remember, they also need to give up the football, and here's the free kick. He'll return it from the 6. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Look at the clock. Everyone knows the situation. Probably time here for one final play. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Zach Cunningham with a pick. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. Well, we were on hand for a fun and entertaining game here, coming down really to that last play. Great job defensively to get the pick and seal it.
And we know that every play during a game matters. You're never sure which one's going to be one of the key ones. But at the end of the game, when you analyze it, 3, 4, 5 plays are going to be the ones you focus on. And that last play was one of them. The last shot had to take it, and they came up with the interception and sealed their victory.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. It's a win for the Texans as we say so long from Houston.